Circling back to this whole Schaus storyline, it's gone quite literally nowhere. So what has been the point of all of it? It's just another one of those Michelle and Tracy storylines that are kind of just there. They're not even real storylines. What's up, fellow Beyond the Gates viewers? Let me start today's recap by being my usual blunt self and saying that I thought today's episode sucked. It was a very much fast forward worthy episode. I did not like almost anything today, and I haven't said this week, so let me say it. Fire the head writers. Michelle and Tracy need to be fired. Today had a lot of examples of how poor the writing is on this show. We started with Anita struggling to do a vocal exercise on the piano, getting frustrated about it. Vernon seeing it. Vernon doesn't want Anita to try and rush back into performing, even though Anita and the Articulates want to do the whole thing with Devon from Young and the Restless for the album with Barbara's voice on it. That was kind of it there. Leslie was looking at a picture of her and Eva when she spotted Carlton and Nicole together. Carlton saw Nicole smiling and said that he bets he knows what put that smile on her face. Now here I thought they were finally going to have Carlton man up and confront Nicole about kind of brushing him off yesterday, but then going home with Kyle, which Carlton clearly saw, but no, Carlton played it off chill. Asked if it's because she finally got some rest. Asked when she would be free for a date. She said right now, but Leslie busted in on the conversation and made the remark that it seems like Kyle gets nights while Carlton gets days. Leslie talked about how Kyle's son Noah now manages the free clinic and had a conversation with her, and Noah mentioned that while he's staying at his dad has been staying with his girlfriend every night. So Leslie really just rubbing this in Carlton's face, and Carlton doing nothing about it. They just keep Carlton a simp, borderline cuck in the storyline at this point. Nicole asked Carlton if she can call him later and find a better time for a date. Carlton, being chill about it, agreed to do that. Nicole then went to see Anita to get advice on how to handle this situation with her men and how she doesn't feel like she's ready to commit to someone and how she feels like she never wants to be in love again. Anita had to be the therapist in this conversation, and she doesn't think that Nicole is done with love like she is saying. Anita said that Nicole needs to set a deadline and, choose the right moment to make a decision or something. I guess that's what Nicole agreed to do by the end of the episode. I don't know. I was doing fast forwarding because Nicole's love life is the opposite of riveting writing and television. Leslie ran into Vernon. Today was one of those episodes where I felt like Leslie has no rhyme or reason. She just goes from person to person being annoying. So she went from annoying Nicole and Carlton to annoying Vernon. Vernon made some remarks about how they're not neighbors after Leslie said they were, because Vernon says that she just has an empty lot, which, again, circling back to this whole Schaus storyline, it's gone quite literally nowhere. So what has been the point of all of it? It's just another one of those Michelle and Tracy storylines that are kind of just there. They're not even real storylines. I feel like they just try and give Leslie 70 different weak plot points to go through. None of them are relevant. None of them make her character any more entertaining. So I just don't get it. Basically, this whole conversation with Leslie and Vernon was the same old shit. Leslie's here to stay. Leslie tried to stop Vernon from leaving when he didn't want to make a scene with her. Isaiah's the one that ended up coming in to break it up and said that he's actually meeting with Vernon today. Anyway, Tyrell brought breakfast to his dad, Smitty and Martin, which already made them think he's coming over with bad news. Tyrell has this big idea where he's trying to make arrangements so that he and Jessica can spend every weekend together, even though he'll be at Banneker and she will be in UCLA. He wants to fly there every weekend. Tyrell gets defensive when Smitty and Martin push back and say that he shouldn't plan for someone else's life, which is what he's doing with Jessica. Tyrell gets frustrated, said he's not a kid anymore. I mean, I think that the stuff here with Tyrell is somewhat realistic, with him being a teenager, not wanting his relationship with Jessica to end. The first person he's ever slept with. But they don't give enough time to this episode. I said this, 3 months ago now, that we could be having a really good summer with the teen storylines if they would just put time and effort into it, because that's what soap operas in the past have done to try and get a younger audience. And the demo for this show does continue to fall. Like, the basic viewership is somewhat consistent. That slipped a little these past couple of weeks. But the demo, which is a younger audience, has slipped. And I feel like this could have been a way to get the demo up. But instead, we're just half-assing this Tyrell and Jessica storyline. And I feel like I've been liking it more than most. I've kind of at least been positive about the potential for the Jessica and Tyrell stuff. But they've dropped the ball per usual. So Martin asked Tyrell how he's going to have the money to pay for this plan. Tyrell just leaves in a huff. Samantha and Jessica at Orphe Jeans. Jessica talking about how she feels like she's been ghosting her own needs because she's been spending so much time this summer with Tyrell. None of this we've seen. We have not seen Tyrell and Jessica spending all this time together. So they're not getting us invested in Jessica and Tyrell as a storyline. Jessica, I guess, just went to UCLA, met her roommate for the first time, went to a couple parties. Samantha doesn't want Jessica to hurt her brother, and Jessica's not trying to have an affair or anything. Jessica's trying not to hurt Tyrell, but Tyrell ends up showing up, breaking up their conversation to talk about how his dads are shutting down his plans to fly to Jessica every weekend, which makes Jessica uncomfortable because she says that he doesn't even know her schedule yet. She doesn't even know her schedule at UCLA yet. Tyrell just wants to make their future work. Jessica says maybe they should just break up starting now, and I guess they did break up, which again, it's kind of like, where's the actual drama in this storyline? We're not seeing it on camera, and then we're just having Jessica break up with Tyrell on a random Wednesday with no real build-up. They teased us with Jessica and her parents, which actually made Jessica more interesting, but we've had no follow-up on that. And now these two are just breaking up. It's absolutely terrible writing. It is, again, this show being allergic to drama in every possible way. Tyrell went looking for Nicole to talk to his grandma. She wasn't at the hospital. He ends up getting advice from Carlton for some reason. Samantha goes home to Smitty and Martin, and they realize that Tyrell is clinging to Jessica because of old wounds, being given away by June when they were kids. He's clinging on to something that he has because he doesn't want to lose it, which is realistic and relatable, but I don't feel like they've done a good enough job to make it compelling because they don't want to actually put effort into the younger characters. So it's a big old half-assed story. And Jessica texted Samantha that she broke up with Tyrell, so be there for him. Eva and Isaiah had some moments today. Basically, it was about how Eva's kind of has her mind somewhere else. Isaiah can realize that because at the beginning, Eva and Isaiah were at Orphe Jeans, which is where Samantha and Jessica also were, but Eva didn't feel like interrupting and talking to Samantha. So Isaiah said that he can tell that she is still in her head from the night before, how Eva was in her head about her scars from the surgery. Eva basically tried to play it off. Eva and Isaiah said some I love yous to each other. Basically, just another version of Ted and Shanice, really. And then Eva went to go see Carlton about her scars because she wants plastic surgery on the scars. Carlton says that it's not a quick fix because she is still healing. They have to wait until her body is fully healed and her scar tissue is settled. So that was some disappointment for Eva. Sad Eva ends up talking to her mom says that the scars from her surgeries are doing a number on her head. She doesn't know if she will ever feel like herself again. Again, there's some realism here that Eva's going to feel some way about her scars, especially right after having them, when it comes to having sex with Isaiah, body image issues. Leslie tried to convince Eva that Isaiah looks at her with so much love, and Isaiah waited with Leslie the whole time that Eva was in surgery and needed surgery. I felt like it was good advice from Leslie. I think my problem here is that this is another health adjacent storyline. Like, Eva now has to deal with her scars. That's her next storyline. Eva wants plastic surgery. That's health related. It's just, however, will CBS not see that they need new head writers for the show? The storylines go nowhere, and the storylines that we do get are all health storylines. Isaiah ended up with Ted and Andre at one point in the episode at the country club that's already fixed from the tornado so that they can talk about the tornado that happened there. Andre asked Ted for advice after Isaiah left. He asked if Ted could have told Nicole early, way back when, with the whole affair with Leslie, would he do it? Ted says he goes back and forth on it. He doesn't know. He wishes he would have been there for Eva. And he would like to think that he and Nicole would have weathered the storm, but he thinks he could have just got kicked to the curb way earlier. Andre admits he's worried that his past is catching up to him. Ted asked if he was stepping out on Danny. Andre said no. It's from his time in Europe when some things happened that he has omitted from his bio. Ted says to be better than him and just be honest with Danny about it. Maybe Andre will be honest with Danny and that will quicken up this storyline. My worry is that this whole Andre secret, which is somewhat fresh for the show and maybe could go in a dramatic direction, will just be another thing on this show that lacks drama. Like, I am worried that Andre's secret is going to be completely lackluster. And how could I not worry with writing like this entire episode today? Bad writing in this entire episode today.